Hello everyone, and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode of Friday Night Explorer, we're going to explore one new card from the Bloomburrow set that really fleshes out this lands deck. So, we're going to run the Aftermath Analyst, Nissa, Animist, Spelunking, Splendid Reclamation combo sort of deck, but with a gigantic twist. Iridescent Vinelasher. Oh yeah, this card is so good. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, it deals with 1 damage to target opponent. Well, guess what? We got a lot of lands coming into play. It's going to be a lot of damage to our opponent. Now, more so than ever with Aftermath Analyst, we can bring back like 4 or 5 lands. It's just Iridescent Vinelasher does 4 or 5 damage. And that means that every time we do it, now, instead of just searching for ways to win, we all automatically win with just a tiny little lizard here. And he has Offspring. If we pay 2 mana extra, right, so if we pay 3 total, we get 2 of these. So every time we Aftermath Analyst into 4 or 5 lands, that's 10 damage, 8 to 10 damage. So do that twice, our opponent's already dead. Alright, that's the idea of the deck. So, how does this deck actually work? We have 4 Iridescent Vinelasher to do exactly what we stated to do. We also have 4 Aftermath Analysts to, have that ability on the stack. We also have 4 Lotus Cobra to help us ramp out a little bit faster against faster decks. We have 1 Shigeki. I'm going to put that to the side for later because that's for a heavier mana cost, right? We have 4 Pillage the Bog and then 1 Worldsoul's Rage. Again, heavier mana cost than 2, but here's our actual 2 drops. Sometimes you can also plot Pillage the Bog if you want to have a better card draw, if you have a good hand. But you can always just play Pillage the Bog on turn 2, look at the top 4 card and draw a card. It's not great, but it fills out our turn 2 curve. If we don't have a Lotus Cobra, sometimes you don't want to land an Aftermath Analyst if that's your only one in your hand, right? So that's kind of the idea for turn 1, turn 2 play. Turn 3, we have 4 Nissa, the Resurgent, Animist, and then 4 Spelunkings, so that we can get lands into play quickly, and then we can also have our lands come into play untapped. Pretty important for that. We have 1 Pitiless Carnage. This is a pretty good card for this idea of deck where we can sacrifice all our lands and then just return them back with Aftermath Analyst. So we're going to draw a bunch of cards that way. You can also plot it so you can play it later on. We also have 1 Mastermind Acquisition. That way we can have basically infinite choices when it comes to sideboards. Really not infinite, but you know what I mean, right? We have a lot more choices. We have 2 Splendid Reclamation to return all lands from graveyard into hand, or into play, right? Into hand is not that good, into play. And then 1 Scapeshift, so that we can sacrifice any number of lands and then search my library for that many lands, put them into play. It doesn't say what kind of lands. Put them into play tapped, but with Spelunking, that comes into play untapped. It doesn't say what kind of lands, so we can put in cards like Lotus Field and really get those lands in. Alright, and then of course we have 1 Lumra, Bellow of the Woods. This is also a card that just brings in all the lands. But when it comes to play, we mill 4 cards, and then we put all the lands from our graveyard into play. Not all the lands milled, just all lands. And then his power and toughness are equal to the number of lands we control, with vigilance and reach. So yeah, I would say that's pretty good. Alright, so then of course the top tier X spells that we want to play. 1 Shigeki with the channel to bring back any cards we want. This is the only reason why the old lands deck in standard was so good. Only reason. Don't look at all those other cards. Doesn't matter. It's just Shigeki. That was it, right? We get any card from our graveyard that's not legendary, and we get to return them. So we can recycle all these good cards like Worldsoul's Rage, Splendid Reclamation, Iridescent Vinelasher if we need to. And then we also have 1 Worldsoul's Rage. Now, of course, the standard deck is 5 or 7 Worldsoul Rages in their deck, but in this deck, it's just the 1 Worldsoul, right? So the idea is that we're going to burn them as an endgame combo if we need to, but really the Iridescent Vinelasher is going to do most of the work. Alright, so the land base, we're a Jund deck because of the Worldsoul's Rage. We have 6 Swamps, 1 Mountain, 7 Forests, 4 Cabaret Courtyard, 4 Riveteer Outlook, 1 Echoing Deep to maybe copy those, 4 Fable Passage, and 1 Lotus Field. And the great thing about Lotus Field is sometimes if we have Echoing Deep, we can copy the Lotus Field too. We can sacrifice those lands, we don't care because they just come back with Aftermath Analyst anyways. Alright, so then of course we have the Aftermath, or we have the Mastermind Acquisition, and that means that we have also choices from sideboard. So our whole deck is our whole deck is very aggressive, I would say, right? It's got a pretty fast shell. So the sideboard slower shell in case our opponent is more controlling. We're gonna have one Invoke Despair. If they have one enchantment we need to get rid of, we can do that. We have one Farewell. You might think, hey, how do you cast a Farewell with white mana? That's how we're gonna do it. Lotus Field, Lotus Cobra, Nissa. We're gonna get those mana easily. One Thought Distortion if our opponent's counterspell deck. We get a Thought Distortion if we have the Temple. And guess what? All their cards are gone. All their graveyards are gone. And they can't even stop it. This spell can't be countered. We have one March. If our opponent's burn, we get a March. We gain a lot of life. And then we have one Outrageous Robbery. If nothing is going on both sides, we're going to take their hand. Or take their deck. We have one Mihawk Massacre. If our opponent goes white, we can take care of their white boar. And we have one Finale of Promise, which can recycle our instant sorcery spells. Which, guess what? Mastermind's Acquisition, instant sorcery spell. It doesn't say exile. A lot of the Wish card says exile. This one doesn't say it gets exiled after you play it. So we can just Finale of Promise and get it back and play it again, right? So then we can choose another card. So if game's going long, those are all the possibilities on the sideboard. You don't have to get any of these cards in the sideboard. Those are just the pluses, right? The main board is where the win con is. Mastermind's Acquisition most of the time can get his cards from the main board, like the Vinelasher, like Splendid Reclamation, just for that end game card, end game spell. So that is the whole idea of the deck. Now let's go into the games. All right, our opponent is Shot Eek. Alright, we're gonna go first. I mean, we got the Vinelasher, right? But we don't actually have. Oh, let's hope we draw them later, I guess. That's something that we're gonna have to hope. Looks like a burn deck, so get a Vinelasher down. Then we have no ramp for quite some while. Let's see if that works. Here comes the burn. Kumano. Huh. Our opponent just wants to play burn. Alright, this gets green, right? Mountain, forest, and plains. Yeah, I want a forest. Ha! Who's the burn deck now? Play with fire, the Vinelasher? Alright, you wuss. What kind of play was that? Time to Spelunk. Cool. Can I get a mountain with this? Do I want to get a mountain with this? I think I want to get a forest, right? Alright, the Kumano's coming. Do I want to Aftermath Mastermind Acquisition just to land here? Okay. I'm at 19. Splendid Reclamation. Splendid. Let's get ourselves a mountain. Why not? Alright, we can tap this mountain for the Splendid Reclamation. Do we want to do that right now, though? Let's see, we get back 3 lands, so we'll go up to 8, right? I think that's good enough. Then Aftermath Analyst, I get more. Give me a forest. Give me a swamp. Sack this for a swamp. As he's roping. There we go. Alright, let's Mastermind Acquisition. Outside the game. Sounds good. Let's gain some life, shall we? What what kind of life we want to gain here. Draw cards. Me Hook is pretty cool. Robbery's going to steal a bunch of cards. I don't know if that's where we're at. The March, I mean, I think Me Hook. Alright, good luck. We've got 9 lands to your 4. Wizard's Lightning. Big prowess. Big prowess. Coming in hot. And then run out of cards. Alright, so if we Aftermath Analyst, we get to have 3 lands. I think that's still what I'm gonna do. Those are not lands, unfortunately, but that's fine. I still get a swamp. I gain 2 life this way. I get a forest. I get a swamp. It's Fabled Passage. For, I don't know, another forest. No more swamps. So, I want to do this for 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Me Hook your whole board. Thanks for the 2 life. Alright, now you do you. That's kind of annoying. New way for me to gain life. Actually, you just Worldsoul Rage. This is sorcery. Vinelasher? I could bring back the Vinelasher. Could also bring back the Elf. Let's pillage our bog, see what we can get. It's a whole hand of cards here. Sacrifice any number permanent and then draw that many cards. So this costs 4. Is that what I want to do right now? Yeah, I'm not really quite sure what to get out. I'll die pretty quickly too if I don't do anything. Guess we'll take this, right? We'll draw a lot of cards. Then we have options. This doesn't feel good. We'll get out 2 cards. We'll get the Splendid and the Aftermath. And we'll do the Splendid Reclamation. It's only 2 life. And we'll play it. No, those are the cards I should have gotten through first. Whoops. Alright, well. This doesn't give me a land, so. You just got the den? Wizard's Lightning. Alright, no den. Echoing Deep. So, I can sacrifice a lot of cards, but don't think it's worth it this turn, right? What can I play this as? A land in the graveyard. I don't want any of those life gain lands. Do I want those life gain lands? It's only 1 extra card, so I'll take that away. Sure. 4. Is that 8? Oh my, I have 1. Okay, cool. That's fun. QQ. So, what am I sacking here? Let's see. Everything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 cards. How many cards I have left? Okay, do I have a card that can bring all the lands back? Let's... Aftermath Analyst for sure. And then... Lotus Cobra. Do I have enough? I might have enough. Let's copy. Right, I still have 4 left. I can play a land. Gives me a green mana. Decline. I want a green mana, please. Then we will activate the ability. Aha, you thought I was at dead. Choose one. What is this choosing? I don't know what that choose one was. Alright, how much damage is that? Should be a lot. I sacked all my lands. So, yeah, GG. I don't know. I don't think I played that deck well this game, but shot him through. Alright, our opponent is Bloomburrow. I don't like the sound of that name. We're gonna go first. We got 4 of these and a Splendid Reclamation, so we'll make do. Going first, we'll make do. Hi. Let me get a swamp, and then a forest. Please don't be a counterspell heavy deck, and then we'll talk about the plays. Ugh. Alright. Turn 1. Watery Grave. This ought to be fun. A card draw? Yeah, my best chance is there's a Phoenix deck. Fatal Push. I mean, it's annoying, but how annoyed could I be with a Fatal Push, you know? Field of Ruin. Alright, well, I Lotus Cobra into 2 mana. You can kill the Lotus Cobra. Then I don't get anything. I cap ready into a Lotus Cobra. Right, so next turn I can play the Cobra. He might counter it. I don't get anything. That's fine. Still will try to do it next turn. I need 2 forests. Don't really need a mountain right now. Is he gonna make no plays? I need 2 swamps for this, huh? Alright, let's see if he counters this. This should get me 2 mana, right? Let's get a mountain. Lotus Cobra activates again. We could just plot it. Now whenever he taps out, I'm gonna get it. He's got 2 mana, he wants to do something. Cycle. Didn't want to counter my Lotus Cobra? Alright. Do we attack first? I don't think so. We want to give him a time to respond to the Cobra, right? Just tap to add a green. Well, he countered this. No counter spells. Oh boy. There's a lot of lands in the graveyard for no counter spells. That's interesting. Doesn't seem like there's any interactions. see. There's an interaction here. Test of Talents. Okay, well, that's my only Pillage card. No, do I have one or two? I'm not really quite sure. I think I have only one. So, yeah, he couldn't counter the Aftermath Analyst because it's a creature. Well, I don't get the card draw, but I do get the Aftermath Analyst's ability. Our opponent out here playing Test of Talents? Sure. Is he looking through my deck? Doesn't get to look through my sideboard. Add a green. Green. Let's add another. Oh, is that red? I don't know. Green. Black. Blue. Green. Red. Black. Blue. Green. I don't know if this does anything, so I get to bring back 4 more lands. That's about it. Do I want to Splendid Reclamation this turn? All I have is lands, right? I'm gonna have more mana next turn anyways. Is he gonna Field of Ruin my Fable Passage? That would be ridiculous. Because that's exactly what the Fable Passage does on its own. Probably wants to kill the Lotus Cobra. I mean, it's not doing much. This is a weird deck. I gotta say, what was that? Tap, untaps. Ropes. I mean, this deck doesn't fight very well against counterspell heavy decks because we need to land our threats, and our threats are most likely going to get countered. So, there are those. Let's Spelunk. I might want the Cobras to do something, so I don't want to attack first into a response. Negate. Coolio. Well, our opponent has stuff. I don't have stuff. They deduce. I have a lot of lands. If only I have something to do with those lands. Well, that is a good draw, but let's see if it even lives. I don't like how the Offspring is not a separate spell. Should be copied to spell like Casualty. Come on. Our opponent out here playing his best life. He's got another deduce. Another deduce. He's got those clues he can activate, I guess. Alright, let's see if he counters this. Gotta hold up a counterspell here for this, right? He's been slinging counterspells left and right. He definitely has something. Is this our opponent just counterspell deduce deck? There's another negate. Yeah. How does this deck win an Explorer? Like, ever? It was just... Oh, I don't have priority. This is just embarrassing. Just count... Negates are the worst in Explorer. There's so many creatures. Like, you can't fight a Phoenix deck. You can't fight a burn deck. I don't know. He got lucky because I'm trying to play a combo deck, but... That's Matchmaker for you. Blue Blur. He can't even feel to ruin anything I have, and I would want him to, but he can't, because these are all basic lands. Don't tell me you have 7 lands and no board wipe. Oh, treasure cruise time. No, deadly cover up. Alright. What do you take? Nissa. Huh. I wouldn't take that. Not a very good card to take. What would I take instead? Aftermath Analyst for sure. Probably the Vinelasher. I mean, I think that's a pretty good card to take, considering that's the whole heart of the deck. Ah, Jesus Christ. Alright. He's gonna have to burn out the whole rope. I gotta say, this is a pretty good top deck to draw right now. Does he have a counterspell still? No, it's just a clue, right? Alright, what are we taking here? Mastermind Acquisition? You could probably just maybe discard it, right? I don't know if I like that too much. Do I have enough mana? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I have enough mana. I mean, Mastermind is pretty good, but I mean, Worldsoul Rage. There's 1, 2, 3. There's not enough. I can give him to like 1 or 2, but it's not lethal. I get a lot of lands back though. I guess that's kind of fair, right? It's 7. I count 7. That's all the lands, right? Yep. So you have another negate. Didn't counter Pillage the Bog. Alright. Get back all my lands. They all go away. That's my last land. Yeah, that's about it. Do I have more swamps? I think I have one more swamp, right? Use the clue at the end. Cool. I have 2 more swamps. Alrighty. I actually win with the Fabled Passage if he doesn't feel to ruin me. Lotus Cobra. Cool. There's a tiny little creature for you. How many cards left? 27 cards. Oh, he's gonna gain life. No way he draws a card. Those aren't creatures. Can he cling again? He could probably cling again if he wants to. I have no cards in my hand. Our opponent has to take an hour for their turn. This is arena experience for you. I mean, Matchmaker will always put you up against your worst match for some reason. At least that's how I feel when I play. And they are always these kind of players. Freaking 2 hour a turn. Really? Pillage the... Okay. You just make the worst choice. But they draw a lot of cards, so they'll probably still win. Hook Massacre for 1. It's pretty good. Ooh, that is a good card. Alright, it's 12. 13, 14. I might have to use the Fable Passage here. Memory Deluge. Our opponent's manually tapping. They did take out some good cards, I guess. You know, thinking back, those are the cards I want, but there was no way he knows that I'm gonna top deck Shigeki. The one-off in the deck. I've got all the one-offs out of the deck. Pitiless Carnage, Worldsoul's Rage. I think I have 2 Pillage the Bog, but still, that's crazy. All right, let's get a swamp with this. It's important right now because how much do I have? 14. That's 14. So minus 2, 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. You get 6 cards with this. Alright, 6 cards. Let's get a Vinelasher down. Let's get a Vinelasher down. We'll get... Do I even want the Splendid Reclamation is pretty good, right? Aftermath Analyst. Splendid Reclamation. We'll get a land. Let's get a Fable. Doesn't matter. And then we'll get a Spelunking, I guess. Not really anything else to take. Here comes the rope again. Cool. Didn't rope out the end. Do we play the Aftermath Analyst first? Oh, that's kind of tricky, huh? I don't want to play the Aftermath Analyst first because it will... Like, if I play the Vinelasher... But if I play the Vinelasher first... Let's see it. You have some counter spells holding up for me? You just test the talenting. I don't have any more swamps. Shieldred's Edict. Okay. Does he have another Shieldred's Edict? Three steps ahead. Just a regular counterspell. He's got some mana up still. We'll play our Aftermath Analyst. That goes through. That's not the card I wanted to mill. Alright, well, this does 1 damage. Let's see if it responds to this. It's got 4 cards. No response to that. Save another Shieldred's Edict? 3 blue mana for something. Alright. Cycles the Censor. And then quits. Jesus, that was a long game. Stupid counterspell deck. That deck was terrible. Don't play that kind of deck. I don't know what was going on there, but it will die so fast in Explore. Alright, our opponent is Alamo Smithers. Cool. Opponent goes first. Wouldn't be the first time. Let's see what happens. Witch's Oven. Which is going right into a Witch's Oven deck. That's fun, right? That's exactly what I want to fight. Nothing on turn 2. Don't think I'm gonna Shigeki here. Do I want to Pillage the Bog? If I play Shigeki, he kills it. I don't need to go that fast against this deck. Unlucky Witness. Gonna sack it for the cards. He didn't. Well, not yet anyways. Alright, let's play this. Do we Spelunk here? If I play Nissa, I don't actually get any mana. So, yeah, let's Spelunk. I'm gonna put this land into play, because next turn I can Nissa into 2 lands. Right now I can do this into 2 lands, but that doesn't do anything. Deadly Dispute. Our opponent's gonna have a lot of cards. Oh wow, okay. It's not a one good card to take. But there's a lot. I mean, like, I want every one of these cards, right? So I'm not sure which one he takes. I wouldn't know which one to take, honestly, if I was in our opponent's shoes. Maybe the Worldsoul's Rage, because that's kind of a win con. Maybe Nissa, because that's where the ramp comes in next turn. But even without it, still a lot. Really, the Bloodtide Harvester. Oh boy. Can I get to 4? No, I mean, I can't. Not with what I have right now. So, if I double Vinelash, I'll have 2 more mana. Can't really use that 2 mana for anything. If I single Vinelash, it would just probably die. Do I want to plot Pillage the Bog here? Yeah, I know he has a removal, but he doesn't remove both of them. Get a mountain. Alright, I'm not gonna play Shigeki. So, guess we'll just end turn. I'll take the 3. You sure you didn't want to use it? I would have used it. Another Bloodtide Harvester. Unlucky Witness. Alright, I get to return like 1 land here, right? I don't know if that's that good of an ability here. But it is a 6/6, which is a lot. Mill 4 cards. Then return all cards. He's kind of tapped out right now. No time like the present to do it. That's a lot of lands. Okay. I mean, he's not dead, but he just wussed out. Alright, our opponent is Jack Stalk. Is that just his name, or he likes to stalk people? Hey, we gotta go first. Not a great land. I mean, not a great hand to go first on, to be fair, but we'll take it. Let's see what we can get. We get a swamp here? I mean, yeah, of course we get a swamp here. Green. Elves. Okay. It's an elf deck. I mean, not an elf deck, it's a devotion deck. You can wait till end step. The thing is, if I don't draw lands here, I'm gonna feel pretty bad. Just plays it? Oh, he's got another elf in his hand. Huh. Okay. What a waste. Green, please. Alright, those are some lands milled. We'll get a mountain in case we draw Worldsoul Fire. What do they have here? Another Trailblazer? That's a lot of card draw. Two green, you can do that. No, not gonna use it for anything. We'll take the 4. Ouch. Oh boy. That is morbidly obese. Cool. Not even gonna do anything here. Just gonna attack. Block. Block 1. Not gonna go to damage. You're gonna deal 4 damage to me? How about I deal 4 damage to you? Actually, no, this is like 6 damage. 7? 7 damage. Forest. Take swamps when we can, I guess. Right? Another forest. Down to 7. Oh no, I took 4. Yeesh. Alright, let's get another land. Down to 6. Guess what? You dead. Oh, that's even more lands. Okay. Yeah, our opponent's dead. GG, that was just disgusting how we manhandle this opponent. Goodbye. GG. That was fun. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you've seen all of those games, how did you feel about this deck? I have to say, this deck feels really fast, really fun. I played about, how many games did I play? I think I played about 6 games, and I lost 2 and won 4. It was a pretty good ratio, but the 2 games I lost was BS, because our opponent just played, one game, our opponent just played a turn 2, while they were on the play, so for us it was turn 1, right? So they played a turn 2, that white 1/3 that stops all ETB abilities, which is just insane because this whole deck is ETB, right? It's basically getting locked by a Torpor Orb and Commander, and you know how annoying that is. So yeah, and then the other game, I think we just didn't draw any cards and just kept drawing lands, and that didn't help either. So outside of those 2 crazy games, this deck just delivered, right? Even that counterspell heavy deck, they counter all of our plays, and we're just grinding them out because, you know, in the long run, we just we're just playing lands, and they can't stop lands. And then we have a little bit of chip damage here and there. That will kill them anyways. So yeah, very, very strong deck. But there are a few things that I would think about changing. Pillage the Bog, 4 off, maybe too much. Maybe go down to 2 off. I know we get a lot of cards. We need a lot of cards, but I think Pillage the Bog is not something that we need 4 off in this deck. But of course, that's you know, in hindsight, maybe I always draw it because I have 4 offs and they did help. So yeah. I never have more Pillage the Bog than I need, so I guess that's fine. Splendid Reclamation, you can cut that down to 1, right? We don't need 2 Splendid Reclamations in the deck because Aftermath Analyst does the same thing, Lumra does the same thing, so yeah, it can go down. Pinnacle's Carnage is good. Scapeshift is fine. Worldsoul's Rage, Shigeki, they're all fine. I would say I would probably, if I cut Pillage the Bog, I'll probably put the Virtue, the green Virtue, because a lot of times I feel like even if I have a lot of lands, I'm still kind of restricted on mana because some of the cards I wanted to cast cost a lot, a buttload. The colloquial term is a buttload. And then the land base wise, I would say most of these lands are fine, but the Fable Passage, it's a fantastic card. I don't want it. I don't think I want 4 off in the deck. The reason is because Aftermath Analyst, Splendid Reclamation, bring them back and they're just lands. They're Fable Passage lands that come into play tapped, which doesn't do anything, right? These Cabaret Courtyards and Riveteer's Overlook, they come into play and they do something. They do you know, bring in another land. So, you know, I would say that's a questionable inclusion in the deck. It does make an untapped land on turn 4, but there's not really a 4-drop that we want to play that badly. I don't know. So maybe 2 offs. Echoing Deep definitely can go. Lotus Field, the copying Lotus Field thing, that never worked. And then I think on the sideboard here, maybe the Finale can go. Maybe the Invoke Despair can go. One of those 2 cards I think can go. They're not great in most matchups. And what I really want to bring in is one Big Daddy Omnath. So where's the Big Daddy Omnath here? I think it's no black, right? Big Daddy Omnath. Not the biggest one, honestly. The one that everyone hates. Where? Did I get the color wrong? I'm pretty sure it's not black. Yeah, Locus of Creation. The landfall that gains us life. I like this card. This card is going to help us sustain most of the longer run games. So yeah, I think that's where this game can go. And if you want, you can definitely just put an Omnath centered deck. But Omnath centered deck is a lot more controlling, a lot less aggressive. And I really like the Iridescent Vinelasher as an aggressive shell. I think this can go in the sideboard. Most of the games in Explorers are more aggressive. So we want to have a more aggressive shell in the main board. And then the Wish board can be more sideboard if we end up facing, you know, counterspell heavy opponents or control heavy opponents. Those are the better cards to get back with Mastermind's Acquisition. And don't forget, Mastermind's Acquisition doesn't get exiled, so we can bring them back with Shigeki. And the best thing about this, if you have Shigeki, maybe Sky Turtle, maybe Virtue of the green Virtue, then we can bring Shigeki back and endlessly recycle this as well. Really, that's all I got for you today. It's a very fun deck to explore. I recommend you try it out. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.